What's up, everyone? Aaron Nagler here with Cheesehead TV for your Packers Daily Chat. A little later than expected, and got to apologize for that, but thanks for everybody who's sticking with us. Many of you probably jumped ship. Hopefully you'll come back. But here I am to talk about Aaron Rodgers returning to practice, Bryan Bulaga missing the media portion of practice, and Jason Spriggs being carted off at the end of practice. A lot of going on today, so I thought I'd jump on here, see what's on the minds of Packers fans everywhere already chiming in. James, that's very nice of you to say. Happy Friday, Brett. Thanks for joining us here at Cheesehead TV. Good to see you. What do you think of Coward saying Mac is more valuable? Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, someone said coward. Maybe it was me. I'm not sure. Nagler for Prez. Nobody wants that. Vancouver, what's up? How you doing, Vancouver? Good to see you. Packers need to trade for Shane Ray. Well, we talked about that yesterday for a little bit. I would be absolutely shocked if Gutekunst made that kind of move, but never say never. You never really know with a brand new GM who's starting to maybe possibly show how he plans to operate, but maybe he surprises us. The Breland signing was a bit of a surprise, so you never know. Who starts at right tackle Monday? Eric, that is an excellent question. Now, here's how I'm looking at it. Now, we don't know what's up with Bryan Bulaga. It could be a personal issue. He may have come out after the media left. That does happen sometimes. So right now, until I hear or know anything else, I'm going to assume Bulaga's the starter. Now, if Bulaga is hurt, and we know Jason Spriggs was hurt today, my hunch is that they would slide Byron Bell out to right tackle and have Justin McCray take over his old spot at right guard. Now, nobody wants that. I understand that. But of all the options, that's probably their best bet. Now, maybe they throw Alex Light out there, but that sounds like a big jump. But you never know. Well, we'll see what's up with Bulaga first. Let's see what the injury report says. It should be released a little bit later today. Yeah, let's not get too crazy with the sky is falling stuff at right tackle until we know the actual particulars about what's going on there. Gmo and Cobb likely for Monday? I wouldn't say that. They were both in the rehab group today, according to McCarthy. I think they've got a shot. That's about the best you can say. But both of them participating in practice yesterday, first practice of the week, that was a bit of a surprise and would tend to trend towards having a good shot to play. But we'll see. Thanks for going YouTube. You're welcome. Trade for Jadeveon Clowney only in our dreams. Yeah, let's come back from La La Land because that ain't going to happen. I'm hoping Cole Madison jumps into the roster and picks up left tackle. Jonathan, I would keep hoping in that regard because I don't think he's coming back anytime soon. What about McCray at right tackle? I would be very surprised if they made that move. He ran a little tackle last year, and he pretty much proved that he's a guard. I don't think he has the quickness in his feet to play tackle. I think, he's shown that he can play guard, as far as down in and down out. He's a competent player at that position. I wouldn't stretch him too thin and put him at a position where I frankly don't think he can succeed. Now, I know the response to that is initially, well, Bell's not much better, but at least Bell has some starting experience there. I just think the choice of the two evils, give me Bell. What exactly is wrong with Jimmy Graham? He's been dealing with a knee injury ever since training camp. There's a particular play where he was diving for a football and Josh Jones landed on top of him. And I think that was like the second week they were in pads, maybe even the first week. But since then, they've been giving him some rest on that knee. It's been bothering him throughout. Here's a question from Dave. Best Packers wide receiver in their prime, Driver, Jennings, Nelson, or Adams? Woo! I know no one's going to like this, and it's not going to be a very popular answer, but Greg Jennings. Will we ever see Jamon Moore on the field? Are the drop balls still plaguing him? Well, I can't tell you what's going on in practice, obviously, because we're not privy to that. But he did play a few snaps last week in Detroit. Obviously didn't get looked at much by the QB1, but right now it sure seems like he's entrenched right there behind EQ and MVS. So I wouldn't expect that to change anytime soon. How are we handling Kittle on Monday? Jorge, that's exactly what I was talking about yesterday. I would Think you'd see a little Josh Jackson on him, a bigger corner. Perhaps, in some power situations, when one of the things the 49ers are able to do, because they utilize their tight end and their fullback so much, they can stay in base personnel and keep you, the defense, in base personnel as a result. Meaning you're probably going to have to line up either a linebacker or a safety on him. My hunch would be they kind of rotate between Martinez, Burks, and HaHa Clinton-Dix. I don't think any of those are favorable for the Packers, but given that we'll probably see a lot of base personnel from both sides, I would say those were most likely combinations. Was the spacing issue more on not practicing with Rodgers enough? I can't put that on not practicing with Rodgers. I mean, that's out in the field. That's got very little to do with the quarterback. Now, Rodgers will adjust routes at the line of scrimmage, but those are concepts. That's not spacing. That's the spacing thing. That's something that should be, practiced and down by the time they're out of camp, let alone week 5 of the regular season. Yes, there's no doubt that not having Rodgers at practice affects timing, affects rhythm, but spacing in your route concepts and your route combinations, come on, that's stuff that should have been had. Hell, that's stuff that you practiced back in the spring, OTAs. So yeah, I'm not gonna say that's on Rodgers being out. Jair back this week. Brandon, he has practiced, and Mike McCarthy indicated on this past Monday that he had a chance to go. We can only see what the injury report says later today, and then basically what it's looking like, that final injury report on Saturday prior to the Monday night game. I'll be surprised if he doesn't go. Actually, all indications are that he's trending upward and should be ready for Monday night. Probably no word still on Spriggs. Yeah, Nick, too early. I'm sure something will come out in the next couple hours, but as of this broadcast, we've got nothing. What do players working in the rehab group do? Oftentimes they're inside working on various drill work, stuff that the trainers are putting them through. We used to see, last year when Rodgers was coming back from the collarbone, we got a little glimpse into it. The Packers themselves actually released some photos of Rodgers just working in the Hudson Center, and Flea, one of their trainers, was going through stuff with him as far as flexibility, mobility, and things of that nature. They're not working on plays, they're not working on actual football practice. It's all athletic stuff they're doing to try and get their bodies back and ready to go back into practice. Now, what's interesting is that yesterday, Mike McCarthy at the podium said that Cobb and Allison would be in that group, would be in the rehab group, yet we saw them on the practice field. So clearly they're having a little bit of both ways. We'll see how much Allison and Cobb and the others are able to do throughout this next day or two. How much of the bad this season is truly on Mike McCarthy? Well, it all stop. The buck stops with him. So all of it, really. I mean, the disorganization, the sloppiness, the penalties, the shooting themselves in the foot, the route stuff that we were just talking about, spacing, etc., preparedness, coming out flat, all of that comes back to McCarthy. Now, yes, has Aaron Rodgers played as well as he can, or as well as we've expected him to? No, he hasn't. Has the defense had its trials and tribulations throughout this first part of the season? Basically coming down to Mike Pettin? Yes, of course. But ultimately, it's Mike McCarthy's team. And this team is a direct reflection of his leadership and his coaching ability. And right now, through 5 weeks, it's sloppy. And Mike McCarthy can come out there every post-game press conference or every Monday morning and say, we got to clean that up. But when you're when you're saying you got to clean stuff up each and every week, well, you're just a sloppy football team. And until that changes, I don't think the buck can stop anywhere else other than McCarthy. If you want to divvy it up percentage-wise, I mean, you go ahead. I don't really know how you would do that, but ultimately, Mike's responsible. It's his football team. Has Corey cooled off yet from Pete's remarks? For those of you who are unaware or didn't watch Packer Transplants this week, my co-founder at Cheesehead TV took umbrage with Mr. Peter Bukowski on the old Twitter, because Pete was asking if Packer fans would think it was worth it for Mike McCarthy to be fired at the end of the year. Would it be good if the Packers didn't make a Super Bowl run if it meant Mike McCarthy would get fired? And Corey Banke took a little exception to that, saying, why on earth would you ever root for your team to lose? And I kind of agree with that approach.
Who's asking about me?
Well, look who's here. We got a special guest here. Wait, you're not mic'd up.
That's fine. Hello.
Somebody was asking if you've cooled off from Peter Bukowski's comments about Mike McCarthy.
No.
So there you go. There's the answer from the horse's mouth. McCarthy only has a job still because of Rodgers. That's probably true, but everybody in that building is in the same boat. Elliot Wolf said the exact same thing to me 2 summers ago. Well, he said we all only have a job because of Aaron. No one's under any illusions there. But unlike most other people in that building, McCarthy can claim, truthfully, that he is partly responsible for Aaron Rodgers. He helped groom him. He didn't select him in the draft, obviously, something that Rodgers will probably never let him live down. But, Mike McCarthy and Tom Clements are the two people most responsible for turning Aaron Rodgers into what he is. And people who say McCarthy only has a job because of Rodgers really need to go back and look at what Rodgers looked like his first 3 years in the league. Because let me tell you, it wasn't what you see now. Corey was right. Nick, I tend to agree. Do you expect Shanahan's familiarity with Pettine to be a problem for the defense? I don't think it'll be a problem in so much that I think he has a monster advantage over Pettine. Obviously, he was his offensive coordinator in Cleveland for a while, but I do think that that is the big X's and O's matchup / chess match that I'm most interested in. Shanahan had Dom Capers' number. We all know that. Not that that was unusual for offensive coordinators in the league, but Shanahan really went to town on Capers these last few years, and I'm very interested to see what difference Pettine might make and what kind of approach he might take for Shanahan, who, let's be honest, he's one of the best play callers in the league. And I know right now Andy Reid in Kansas City and Sean McVay in LA are getting all the love, but, Shanahan lost his quarterback in Garoppolo, and they're still putting up tons of yards. They're turning the ball over, but that's because they have a young, inexperienced quarterback for the most part. They can still move the ball, and they're doing it without a ton of help at the skill position spots. Shanahan's very good at what he does, and that is, like I said, the matchup I'm most looking forward to on Monday night. McCarthy can also claim he's responsible for Brett Hundley. Well, he can also claim that Brett Hundley was a backup 5th-round pick, not a first-rounder. You can only work with what you have. Everyone wants to put Hundley on. Like I said on Transplants on Wednesday night, you want to know what Mike McCarthy thought of Brett Hundley? Look at the game plan against the Saints last year. Don't look at what he says. Look at what he does. Most buttoned-up, run-oriented, 3 yards in a cloud of dust game plan we've seen from Mike McCarthy probably since 2008. There's a reason for that. It's because he knew Hundley wasn't ready. As he said at the end of the year, the preparedness was not there. And he knew. He knew what he had. He knew he wasn't ready. But that's what the personnel group gave him, so that's what he had to make it work. And obviously, it was a total disaster. Clinton Dix apologized yet for blocking someone who was supporting him? Nah. It's fine. What's the big deal? It's Twitter. It's his Twitter feed. He can do what he wants. He wants to block me? That's fine. It's cool. Shanahan also lost the Super Bowl terribly. Yeah, okay, fine. But you can say that about so many things when it comes to play calling. You know what? If the running back actually blocks on 3rd down, it's a touchdown and the game's over. It's about execution, more often than not. What's up with the myth that Jones can't pass block? Well, Thomas, I don't think, here's the thing. He can pass block, but he does mess up from time to time. It's happened a couple times this year already. So it's not, when they say they trust Williams more, there's a reason for that. He is more trustworthy, and he is better at, pass protection. I don't think that's a debate. It's just a question of when you want him out there. And, for a team that is dealing with its superstar quarterback on a bum leg, yeah, they want the guy who pass protects better. I would give Aaron Jones the ball 20 times a game to counteract the need to lean on my quarterback. But that's just me. I'm not Mike. What do you think is the ceiling for Breeland in this defense? Well, Amir, I think he could be a starter eventually, but he's got some talent in front of him. But you never know how Kevin King's going to, pan out. You don't know Josh Jackson or Jair Alexander, what they're going to be like down the stretch. Breeland, he's a proven pro. He's done it in this league. Now, I don't think they're going to insert him as a starter anytime soon, but could he be a starter in this defense? Absolutely. Why don't we use Williams as a fullback like Kuhn? They don't, they don't have a fullback. They've got tight ends now. But Williams really isn't a blocking back. There's a difference between pass protection, which is reactive and you're absorbing the contact. Obviously, you're giving it out as well, but you're not moving forward, and having your hand in a three-point stance and firing out and trying to open running lanes. It's a bit of a different skill set. How important is pass protection when you're handing the ball off immediately to your most dynamic rusher? I don't know, David. Are you doing that every single down? Because A, I think the defense might get wise to it, and B, what happens when Aaron Rodgers audibles? That's the whole thing. That's why they want what Mike McCarthy calls 3 down backs, because every play, almost every play, has some kind of check or adjustment to it where Rodgers can change things. And then all of a sudden, this, I'm just going to hand it off right away, becomes, nope, I'm going to max protect because I like this matchup that Devontae's got. We're going deep. My back better have it. And if you don't, you're not going to play. And that's the whole point. So far this season is making me sick. Come on. It's only this week 6. You're fine. Chill out. Have a beer. That's what I'm going to do right when I'm done with this. How's my mock draft looking? Please. About as well as my power rankings. The hype is more because Williams has been really good at pass pro, not so much because Jones is bad. Thank you. That is absolutely correct. Well stated. Haven't seen anybody say it yet, so when is BJ Raji coming back? Great question. I'm on it, though. I don't know the answer, but we'll find out soon. Sometime in the next millennium. The gap between Williams' ability to pass block does not cover the gap Jones has over him as a rusher. Sure, as the great Coen brothers once wrote, that's just like your opinion, man. Will Corey have a Brewer shirt on under his Packers shirt Monday night just in case? Oh, God. Oh, you're going to get him back in here again. You're going to have him yelling at me this time. Adam Sherman matchup could be another good one this week. Still a good corner in this league. I completely agree, Amir. And that will be worth the price of admission. And I'll say this, Devontae, no one's checked him yet. You look throughout the games, I mean, there have been times when he's beaten guys and Rodgers just hasn't seen him. Obviously, he's been highly productive most of these games. I mean, he's faced some good corners. Hasn't been shut down yet. So I'm interested to see that matchup. I think Devontae's going to get his, though. Great that Ryan will be at the watch party. Any plans to get other guests in? Oh, Nick, just stick around. Just stick around. You'll see. For those of you who don't know what Nick is talking about, Ryan Grant will be here in studio with me on Monday night watching the game. So if you're interested in a second screen experience with a Packers legend in the house, please fire us up on our YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel so you get all this goodness coming to you on your screen, wherever it is. But yeah, Ryan Grant will be here watching the game with me. Give me all Mike McCarthy's offensive dirty secrets. Falcons seem to be falling apart with key guys down and a few years removed from a Super Bowl. Hard to remain successful. I think that says something about the Pack these last few years. I completely agree. The Falcons have been really decimated on defense. There's no doubt about that. It kind of reminds me of what the Packers went through the year they ran the table. By the end of the year, that defense was just a shell. Now, that said, they still won football games because of Aaron Rodgers' brilliance. And, you're seeing Matt Ryan not be able to duplicate that. I think that's the biggest difference right there. Zach, Jordy followed me for like a second, and then I called him out. I said, oh, yeah, now he follows me, and then he unfollowed me. So, and I don't even think that's Jordy anyway. I think that's like Jordy marketing people. But if MVS and EQ continue to perform when they get opportunities, what does that do to Cobb in the long run? I like Cobb, but curious. Well, they're very different receivers. Cobb is obviously a slot guy in particular. MVS, I think, can run in the slot eventually. They've been using Devontae Adams in the slot a lot in various looks, especially in the inside trips. But, I think if they continue to play like they have been playing, it's going to be hard to see Randall Cobb back in Green Bay next year. Now, as for this season, yeah, I think, Cobb, once he's healthy, will continue to pick up right where he left off. Hopefully not in Washington, but in week 1. But yeah, I think you're still going to see opportunities for all of them. Maybe MVS, EQ, those guys get a few more opportunities. even with Randall in the lineup. But I don't think Randall's suddenly going to fade to the background because these guys are suddenly making a few plays. There's still history, there's still knowledge, there's still chemistry between Rodgers and Randall. I don't see that disappearing anytime soon. But the more EQ and MVS and Jamal Moore, if he gets going, the more they show that they're picking up the offense and they're getting in sync with Rodgers, the more that happens throughout the year, the less likely it is that Randall Cobb is back. That's just, them's just the facts. Where could the Pack take advantage of the 49ers? I think by running the football, and really the number one thing they could do is capitalize on turnovers, because the 49ers are going to give you chances. They've shown that through the first 5 weeks. They are a turnover-prone group. They were even when Jimmy G was in there. And right now the Packers are sitting at -1, I believe, on the year turnover differential. This would be a great opportunity for them to kind of start turning that around. And look, the best way, easiest way to win this league is to win that turnover battle. Give your offense more opportunities, especially when that offense is quarterbacked by Aaron Rodgers. All right, everybody, I'm going to have to jump. I want to thank you all so much for joining me. I'm so sorry for the half-hour delay. But we're here. We're talking Packers. It's awesome. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Seriously, lots of great stuff coming up. Corey Banky's running in here to say something, so I'm just going to keep talking until he gets in here to say whatever he wants to say. I was just about to plug it. The other thing on our YouTube channel that's coming up in probably like an hour or so, we're going to have our Madden preview. We're going to try this out. I'm going to play Madden here on this big screen, preview of the Monday night game. So, hell, if you're sitting around late Friday afternoon, it's the end of the week, you got, you're jonesing for some Packers football. Find our YouTube channel, turn it on, crack open a cold one, and watch me take on the 49ers. It's going to be a good time. Thanks a lot, everyone. I'll talk to you guys very soon.